Hi, this is Baba G, and I'd like to welcome you from the depths of my COVID hibernation for this introduction to storytelling. Have you ever wanted to speak so that your message cuts through to the heart and soul of your audience and creates lasting change? We've found that the secret ingredient is storytelling. Now, when I was a little boy, I was, what some might call a stubborn child. Now, my mother would say, "Go tidy your room, darling." "No, I'm not going to tidy my room." She'd say, "Time for a nap, darling." "No, I don't want a nap." And the big one, the really big one. "Time for your bath, darling." "No, I don't want a bath. I don't need a bath. I hate baths." Well, just look at me, little bastard. Standing there, 3 years old, hands on hips, with the fierce light of the freedom fighter raging from my eyes. "You can't make me!" Well, as you can imagine, it was often too much for my poor dad. He'd pick me up, throw me over his shoulder, spank me soundly, and dump me unceremoniously in the bath, where I'd sit there, clothes on in our pink 1950s bath, tears streaming down my eyes. But just like Stewie, my favourite character from Family Guy, I was planning my revenge. "Curses! Vanquished again! One more round to the man! But they may beat me, they may cajole me, but I will fight them on the beaches, I will fight them on the landing fields, I will never surrender. Once more unto the breach, dear friends." And then, in the midst of my infantile diatribe, it hit me. Those big dummies may be able to force me into the bath, but only if they can find me. And so began my counter-offensive of toddler guerrilla warfare. As soon as I heard the bath, I'd run, and I'd quickly hide under the bed or in the clothes cupboard or in the dog kennel with our dog Amber, who'd lick my face. Now, my mother knew that this had to stop, but she also knew that my father's solution of spanking and brute force would not work in the long run, and in fact it'd only drive me to rebellion. But my mother knew something my father did not. While you may not be able to force a man to do something, it's quite easy to manipulate him into thinking he wants to do something. Ladies, am I right or am I right? And so my mother began her cunning plan. And you see, every night as I was going to bed, she'd stroke my hair and say, "If you are clean, everyone will love you. But if you don't bathe and you're a dirty and smelly little grub, then everyone you love will despise you and desert you, and you'll be left sad and utterly alone in the world. Sleep well, darling." Now, before you think that my mother's a pure psychopath, this is not exactly what she did. Do you want to know exactly what she did? I thought you might. Each night, as I lay down to sleep, she'd bring out a magic book and read it to me. Let me show you. I've got it right here. Now, the book we had back in 1969 was already old and worn. But this magic book is so powerful that it's still read by thousands of children right up to this day. And put it in the comments if you've actually read it to you or if you've read it to your children. She would open the book and read those familiar lines that many of you will already have heard before. Harry was a white dog with black spots who liked everything except having a bath. So one day when he heard the water running, he took the scrubbing brush and buried it in the back garden. Then he ran away from home. He played where they were mending the street and got very dirty. He played by the railway and got even dirtier. He played with the other dogs and became dirtier still. He slid down a coal chute and got the dirtiest of all. In fact, he changed from being a white dog with black spots, and he became a black dog with white spots. Although there were many other things to do, Harry began to wonder if his family thought that he'd really run away. He felt tired and hungry too, so without stopping on the way, he ran back home. When Harry got to his house, he crawled through the fence and sat looking at the back door. One of the family looked out and said, "There's a strange dog in the back garden. By the way, has anyone seen Harry?" When Harry heard this, he tried very hard to show them he was Harry. He started to do all of his old clever tricks. He flip-flopped and he flop-flipped. He rolled over and he played dead. He danced and he sang. He did these tricks over and over again. But everyone shook their heads and said, "Oh no, it couldn't be Harry." Harry gave up and walked slowly towards the gate. But suddenly he stopped. He ran to the corner of the garden and started to dig furiously. Soon he jumped away from the hole, barking short, happy barks. He'd found the scrubbing brush, and carrying it in his mouth, he raced into the house. Up the stairs he dashed, with the family following close behind. He jumped into the bathtub and sat begging with the scrubbing brush in his mouth, a trick he certainly had never done before. "The little doggy wants a bath," said Dad. And her father said, "Why don't you and your brother give him one?" Harry's bath was the soapiest one he'd ever had. It worked like magic. As soon as the children started to scrub, they began shouting, "Mummy, Daddy, look, look, come quickly." "It's Harry! It's Harry! It's Harry!" they cried. Harry wagged his tail and was very, very happy. His family combed and brushed him lovingly, and he became once again a white dog with black spots. It was wonderful to be home. After dinner, Harry fell asleep in his favourite place, happily dreaming of how much fun it had been getting dirty. He slept so soundly he didn't even feel the scrubbing brush he'd hidden under his pillow. Do you see what she did? The funny thing is, it wasn't long before I was happily jumping into the bath each night. My father was amazed. "Love, it's a blimmin' miracle." But my mother just smiled because she knew exactly what was happening. Do you see what she did? Using the power of story, she slipped right past my defences and embedded a brain tattoo directly onto my young mind. If you don't bathe, then even the people you love will desert you, and you'll be left sad and alone. But if you do bathe, everyone you love will love you and you'll be happy. And I bought it. Hook, line and sinker. You see, you can compel obedience and people will comply, but they'll become rebellious. You can lecture people and they will learn facts, but this rarely translates to action. But as a species, we are defenseless against the power of stories. They glide in between our logical filters and they change our programming at a basic and essential level and in a way that we don't even realize that it's happening. This is the truth. If you want to quickly and reliably achieve an outcome once, use force. If you want people to learn facts, then teach. But if you want to bring about lasting change, tell a compelling story. Jesus knew this, and so he taught in parables. Confucius and the Buddha knew it, and so did Martin Luther King when he ignited the imagination of a generation with his dream for tomorrow. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will be judged not by the colour of their skin, but by the strength of their character. I have a dream. Storytelling is a superpower. Storytelling is the most powerful, the most needed skill on the planet. Steve Jobs famously said that the most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. But don't give him too much credit because he was far from the first to discover this truth. The ancient Greeks and Romans told myths to teach life lessons. And we've been listening to stories around the campfire since civilization first began. There's something primal about stories. We love stories. We lean in to listen to them. It's a human thing. And this means that stories are powerful. There's a Hopi Indian proverb which says, "Those who tell the stories rule the world." In fact, storytelling, which you're about to learn, is so powerful that I'm going to need a commitment from you that you will only use this for good and not evil. So sit up straight, put your left hand on your heart, and repeat after me. You ready? I promise that I will lean in and play all out, and I will practice and learn the art and science of storytelling, and I will only use this power as a force for good in the world. So friends, strap yourselves in and get ready for a wild ride as we explore the art and the science of storytelling.